Do I become cold and not even express or even try with this person knowing that there's going to be an expiration date? The topic, what we're going to talk about today, is just going to be hot. As a culture, I feel like we don't heal properly.
I don't know how to let myself get attached because I'm afraid to get attached.
I don't know what it feels like to be divorced, and I pray I won't feel that.
Sometimes it's okay to move.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
It's almost mind-boggling when you think about it. Avoiding the work does not protect you, it repeats you.
Are you the bad apple, or are you amongst a bad apple that can destroy the bunch?
I don't want the pain that their mom experienced to be their identity.
So I like Skittles. This was like my favorite. I think that's why our son likes it. And I just said that I was going to eat the Skittles and probably pick the red one and eat that the most, because the topic, what we're going to talk about today, is just going to be hot. But you, when I said that, which I am going to eat one, you made a corny face, and I don't understand that, because it was how you did that?
We've been for 4 seasons talking about Skittles, and red never stood for hot. Today, red stands for hot.
No, red. No, listen to what I'm saying. Red is hot. It is.
A red Skittle is not hot.
It's sweet and it's delicious because red is the best flavor in here. But in regards to what we're talking about, no, it's more cautionary things like, okay, that, alarm or something like that you want to talk about.
Okay.
You think this discussion is going to be alarming?
What is it about?
So today we're going to talk about what lessons do we teach when we divorce, blend, and remarry, and how can it affect us if not addressed?
Okay, that's good. That's good. I think that I have a lot that I can share about that.
I have some too.
Without Skittles.
Why has to be you have more to share than I do?
We're here to share.
We're going to share. Are you ready to talk about it?
My dope blend.
All right, let's do it. I'm excited. Okay.
What is it?
What's what?
No. What are we talking about today?
All right, we're talking about what lessons do we teach when we divorce, blend, and remarry, and how can it affect us if not addressed, honestly, like in the long run. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna say this, okay? My parents have been married for 46 years, right? But in my family, I do have, some aunts and uncles that haven't been married. Like on my dad's side, majority of everybody is married. Mm-hmm. And on my mom's side, it's really, my mom and my uncle are married. But I have experienced something a little bit different. I've had a few uncles. Mm-hmm. And I realized that in that, it has a way of affecting, because each person that came into my life, I had a relationship with. And my viewpoint on developing that relationship and then letting go of that relationship kind of affected me in a way like, okay, what do I expect from the next one? Do I become cold and not even express or even try with this person knowing that there's going to be an expiration date?
Oh, no.
So, or do I just be a kid and just, some kids are very open and just, I love, whoever comes into my life, I'll have fun, whoever, comes into my life. But then there are other kids that they're so accustomed to seeing a revolving door of people coming in and out of their lives that they become, cold to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one, that is a common thing that comes from a lot of times when parents divorce and remarry or go from one relationship to the next to the next to the next. Mm-hmm. It is common a lot of times for the children that are involved to feel like, I don't ever want to get attached, or when they do get attached and then something happens, and then so it's almost like you said, I don't know how to let myself get attached, because I'm afraid to get attached, because if I do, then who's to say that this one's going to last forever when it's happened time and time again.
But
That's
I guess
one aspect of it.
Yeah, but overall, like, doesn't just affect the kids. You know what I'm saying? I understand that we're talking about kids, and I gave an example of what I experienced as a kid, but I think, you know, it affects the kids that become adults.
Right.
You know, and it can become a generation, as we say, generational curse, but it can become something that just perpetual and just passes down because nobody addresses the situation at hand.
Right.
You know, nobody really looks at the healing process. No, as a culture, I feel like we don't heal properly as we should in order to move on. We just move on, and some people are taught that. Okay, it's over, go to the next.
Right.
That's how you get over that, when you go to the next. And that is not how you do that.
Right.
Because all you're doing is bringing baggage into one, pain into the other, bitterness into that one. You know, it just keeps building like what's her song? Erykah Badu. Yes, Erykah Badu song Bag Lady. You just bringing more and more of it. Like, at what point does it stop? And it can affect us in so many ways. Like,
yeah, I agree. I'm just saying that I feel like that is and I guess what I'm trying to say is that there are several lessons that can be taught when you say, what do we teach?
yeah.
When we go through divorce and blended and moving on, when you say, what do we teach? I think that is one aspect of what can be taught. I also think that's sometimes they say some things are taught and some things are caught, right? I think that in those situations, what tends to happen a lot of times is that those behaviors, those actions, or whatever, however you want to say it, that's caught. You know, the people that are within the relationship, like you said, it's not just the children, but it's the family members that have also gotten attached to the ex-spouse, or husband or wife number 2 and wife number 3 and husband number 4. So you take the family through and what seems like a revolving door and a never-ending cycle, and I feel like in those cases that's caught. The family ends up catching the brunt of that. Make sense? I don't necessarily know that when you ask the question, what do we teach, right? I think about it from a different perspective. As a divorcee, I think about it from a standpoint of I would want my children, I would want my family members to see that sometimes it's okay to move on. To me, that's a taught lesson. Make sense?
Okay.
Like, for example, when I went through a divorce, I felt like, because everybody knows at this point that I'm in ministry, full-time ministry. I always have been in full-time ministry. I felt like when I was divorced that I lost my, as what they say in church, this is a very churchy term, I lost my witness. Why you got to hold Jesus? You're a church girl too.
I am.
You always...
Go ahead.
Y'all ever notice every time I start talking about church, she's like, oh.
Go ahead.
But when she around the house, she, bless the Lord. Oh,
I don't do all that.
Hallelujah. When she get in church, praise Him.
Go ahead.
And when I talk about churches, Jesus. Anyway, I felt like when I went through a divorce that I lost my testimony. I lost my witness. Who would I be at that point to be able to tell anybody else about marriage? Because I had a failed marriage. Because I had gone through a divorce. You got a lot of people in church that feel like divorce is a sin, and after you get a divorce, you shouldn't get remarried because this didn't happen and that didn't happen, and there are prerequisites and there are parameters, and the Bible talks about the only reason why a person should get divorced, and if this didn't happen, then you shouldn't be good. Okay, fine. So I had to deal with all that internally, right? I felt like I would have no right to tell anybody about marriage after I got a divorce because what can you tell me about a successful marriage when you've gone through a divorce? All those things went through my head. All those things went through my mind, right? as time went on, I realized that my witness and my testimony were greater because I had gone through a divorce, because I learned lessons. When you ask, what do we teach by divorce and blending and remarrying and those things? To me, teach and lessons go hand in hand. I had to teach myself lessons, and I had to learn lessons in order to move on. The lessons that I learned, I'm able to teach others. So when I hear the question, when I hear the subject that we're talking about of what do we teach, I see it more from the positive side.
But it's not. But I guess I get where you're going with it, and he is a teacher, so you automatically go that route of, you know, taking something that may have had a negative effect and pulling positivity out of it. But let's get to the realness of it. When there's a lot of people that are still carrying it, they haven't gotten to the positive because what they are living or what they've experienced from the brokenness is normal to them.
Right.
So if that's if that's a normal thing, they function in that, and it affects them not only in their family dynamic, in their personal dynamic when they're trying to date. Probably it transcends over to the work environment. If you ever notice people who can't keep a job or can't commit to a job or can't, that stuff stems from something else. Right. And sometimes a lot of that comes from things in the home or what they learned behavior. And
I don't disagree.
I think when you're looking at a divorce, when you're looking at blending a family, when you're looking at remarrying, I mean, you're going through a different cycle, but you never address what that cycle or what the process, because each cycle comes with a healing.
Right.
Then all you're doing is bringing that into other areas.
I don't disagree. But what I'm saying is that is one example. That's one side. That's not every side. Because if you lump everybody's divorce and blending and remarrying under that umbrella, then that says that nobody should get divorced, nobody should blend, and nobody should get remarried.
I completely get that.
So I'm just saying that they're both sides to the coin.
Okay.
I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing.
Okay.
I'm saying that you're right. What you're expressing is one element that is oftentimes taught, or what I am trying to submit is caught a lot of times, because people catch those behaviors. You see what I'm saying? So it's like an abusive parent. Most of the time, those children grow up to be either in abusive relationships or they grow up to be abusers themselves. They caught an unhealthy behavior. They caught it from what they saw.
Okay,
you see what I'm saying?
Right. So, okay. So I have, for those who are listening and those who are viewing, so I'm going to talk about from a standpoint of me dating, okay? I learned...
Careful. Keep going.
What?
Keep going.
I learned in dating that I was dating a lot of guys that either came from a broken family or their parents never married.
Okay.
And it took me a while to learn this, because I came from parents that have been married, happily married, you know, not saying that they didn't experience things, but they were, you know.
Sure.
So my viewpoint on what relationships should look like was totally different from what I was experiencing in these relationships.
Yeah.
And I didn't think about it until after they were over. Like, he could never give me this because he had no example of it.
Yeah.
And what he had an example of, we probably would be divorced if we got married.
Sure.
Because one, he does not know how to communicate, because they probably don't communicate at home, because he probably never talked, they never sat down and had decent conversations or figure out what's going on. Why are you feeling this way?
Sure.
My parents, my mom, my parents did that. And not saying, let me clarify what I'm saying now. I'm not saying that when you come from a single parent home or even divorced home, that parents don't take the time to do that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying my experience and what I learned and I caught, or however you said from it. That is what I found to be true. And when I met you, it solidified what I was thinking and from my experiences, because you and I, both of our parents have been married. Exactly. Our parents talk about, want to know how we feel, what we're going through. You know, they want us to be able to adapt. They teach us all the tools that we've needed in order to get to where we are now. There are a lot of people that don't have those things, but it stems from something even deeper. But when we don't address those things as adults, it just goes haywire.
I agree.
I agree.
And
people and because for some reason as a culture we feel like therapy is just so taboo.
Yeah.
Which
because
it's the best thing ever.
Yeah. But
please go now.
So
call your therapist now. Sorry. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just call your therapist. Tell them what's going on. Heal. Okay.
You done?
I'm sorry.
Okay. You need a Skittle?
No.
Okay. All I'm saying, I agree.
Yes.
I'm just saying that what you are sharing is one side of the coin.
Okay.
And from the side of the coin that you're expressing and that you're talking about, you're right. Right? So when you ask the question, what do we teach when we divorce? What do we teach when we blend? What do we teach when we remarry? From the negative side of things, you teach, I don't need nobody. A lot of let me say it this way. A lot of times, what is taught is, or what is caught is, I don't need anybody. You know, I'm good. You know, I could do bad by myself. You know, or you know, so we just move on from one thing to the next. We don't heal. We don't deal with the internal things. What are my red flags? We look for red flags in others. How often do we look for red flags within ourselves and then deal with them? Do I have a therapist?
A lot of people don't until somebody addresses it.
Right. And for a lot of people, it's never them, it's the other person.
Absolutely.
You know, I just ain't found the right person because she don't do this, she don't do that, she don't have this, she don't have that. A woman said, here's my list. My list said he need to have this and this and this and this, and he don't have this and this and this and this. So I'm moving on till I find the person that have this.
But let me ask you something. Is something wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that.
Because I had a list.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Because I said in a previous episode last season, I said, stop settling for what you know you didn't pray for.
Correct.
I do feel like you have to be specific in what you're looking for. I do. While at the same time, sometimes you have to take self-inventory to see if watch this. Do I reflect what's on my list?
Ooh.
Why am I looking for a person that make this much and I don't even want to work? Why am I looking for a person that drive this kind of car right here and I'm riding the bus?
Because
why am I looking for this person over here who live in this kind of house right here and I'm bunking with
that's taught.
You understand?
That's taught.
So when I say list, and I say it from a negative perspective, I'm just saying it from a perspective of sometimes while you do need to be specific, there are also sometimes where our lists are unrealistic.
Okay.
So there's the negative side of the taught. All I'm saying is that there's also a positive side of what is taught through divorce and through blending and through remarrying. Because I would like to think that with my daughters, who are the product of a divorced household or family, right? Mm-hmm. Now, at first, they went through, my oldest daughter went through separation anxiety. They needed child therapists. They went through certain things.
Can you elaborate on
her
separation anxiety?
I mean, when we got a divorce, Kirsten did not like to, and it wasn't just separation from me and her mom. She had separation anxiety from her teachers. She would grow an attachment to her teachers to where she didn't even want to be separated from them. I remember there was an episode where I don't know if she had gotten attached to, it was either she had gotten attached to the bus driver and didn't want to get off the bus, or she had gotten attached to the teacher and didn't want to get on the bus. Either way, my child was like hanging on to the door like, hey, leave me alone. I'm not going nowhere. And was holding on for dear life, crying, screaming. I don't even know if Kirsten remembers this, but she's like holding on and she don't want to. I can't remember if it was to let go or to get on. I'll be honest with you. I don't remember which scenario it was.
To let go or to get on.
Yeah.
You just said something, to let go or to get on. And that's a tug of war.
A tug of war. Yeah, I don't.
So many of us face,
Sure.
to let go or to get on.
Sure.
Wow.
I think that is part of what's taught through divorce, blending, and remarrying, right? I went through a season where I was at a tug of war of whether I should let go or get on. I made the decision at that time to let go, all right? And then fast forward, I meet Miss Leslie.
That is I.
Oh, my God.
Go ahead.
And then I had to make the decision to get on.
Oh, jeez. I have some.
I got on.
So guys, I am really big on quotes because I think quotes kind of help people see things in a different perspective. So I love taking my thoughts and making quotes out of them. And something that I felt like was a great quote to help kind of dig a little deeper into this discussion is, it says, blending families don't erase the past, it magnifies what was never addressed. It says remarriage isn't a fresh start, it's a continuation of who you chose to become after the breaking. And we've talked about this in previous episodes because you said that divorce is like a death. And I feel that, and I'm only going to talk about the women because that's who I am, but I feel like for me having bonus daughters, it's really important. I don't know what it feels like to be divorced, and I pray I won't feel that. But, oh God. But in regards to that, what they experience in the aftermath of that, if it is not addressed, and that is the word for this episode, if it is not addressed, then what happens is it slowly starts revealing itself in them as they become adults. And it's funny because I can see it sometimes. Some things that weren't addressed in that healing, or maybe not so much healing, but still continuous, journey that has come from those things not being addressed.
Yeah.
Well, and it's scary to see it because being on the other side, and now seeing it sometimes in my bonus daughters, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's still there.
And I think that it's an ever.
That's still there. It's not them.
I think it's an ever evolving journey. It's a working document. It's a living organism.
But is it?
It is because again, I come back to the point that I'm trying to make, right? The point that I was trying to make in Kirsten, right? Going through the separation anxiety and all those things. And in Kyla had her issues when I first went to divorce. This was pre-Leslie. Okay. As time progressed though, and now it's post-Leslie, there's a journey, there's a getting to know you, there's a process, yeah. But what I would say is you see some of the things that are products of things not being addressed, right? I see some of the things that are the benefit of them seeing me go from something that was unhealthy to something that was healthy.
Okay, I can see.
That's what I'm saying. There are two sides. There is the side of people who teach what it's like to move on and never check themselves and never address and never go through healing and never. So those people, unfortunately, their family members and
How do we
their
merge the
people.
two sides? How do they come together? How? How can we get to a happy median? How can we?
Honesty, healing.
Okay. But you said it's a journey.
Right.
So
honesty and healing. That's how we get to.
do you heal first?
Yeah, you have to be honest first.
Okay.
Because you can't heal without being honest.
Correct.
Okay, so honesty and healing. Once you be honest with the situation, just like Alcoholics Anonymous and NA, the first step is admitting that you have a problem. Honesty. So you go through the honesty side of things first. I got to be honest with myself. Maybe I'm the problem. I done had 5 and 6 and 7, 8 and 9, 10 husbands and wives and relationships. Who was the common denominator? Me. I got to be honest about that. Something happened, especially if you look back at the ones that got let go, or the ones that you moved on from or moved on from you. How are they living now? Are they in happy relationships? Are they in healthy relationships? Are they prospering? And yet you're still at ground zero, or you're still.
But what about the people that didn't come from anything broken and they just can't seem to commit because it's an internal thing from what perfect example. I'll give it to you. Before I met you, like I said, I dated guys that didn't come up like I did. But I also had friends that were married. I had friends that were engaged. And there was a period in my life, even though I knew I would get married, but there was a period in my life that I was like, ooh, do I want this? Not because of what I saw in my household, but because of what I saw within my circle.
You were catching.
I was catching and seeing that maybe the reality of what I experience is not real reality and in this point in my life, because what I'm surrounded by is just, baby.
But here's what's funny.
But people see that and like, okay, I'd rather just be in something than to be committed to it.
Yeah, well, guess what? In some cases, that's why you have to go. You were taught one thing. Then along the way, you felt the way and started getting discouraged by what you caught. The blessing came again when you reverted back to what you were taught. You are in a relationship now that is a product of what you were taught. There are some people, you're right, that are never taught that because they come from broken homes, they come from single parent house, so they didn't see a family dynamic, they didn't see communication, they didn't see a man love a woman, they didn't see a woman love a man in a healthy perspective the way they should. They didn't see that. So in that case, then you have to ask yourself the question of what did they catch? They caught something because nobody taught them. You got some cases where you got dads that teach their sons to be players.
Absolutely.
And you got some cases where moms teach their daughters to be catchers. Okay?
And then you have situations where some people say, I love to love, and I love to just, sometimes you just go with the wind, and if the wind doesn't blow in this direction anymore, then you just move on to the next, and you follow that. And no, I'm serious, I'm not being funny. There's people who are like that.
I want them to put music under that.
But in that, it causes the child or the people in that circle to flow
catch.
like that and to catch. And then their catch becomes almost destructive at times.
No, I agree. I agree.
And it's just, what I'm saying overall is seeing the walks of life and how our experiences can become a domino effect that either will bring a positive return.
Yes.
Or it can bring
I'm with you.
a negative return.
I am with you 100%.
And it's crazy that a lot of that starts at the root.
Yeah.
And in the root of things, when we are in marriages and bringing children, and I'm going to circle it back to the child, because we all are children at one point in our lives, we have to be so conscious of the healing that we don't want to, and I don't want to say this word, but I'm going to say it, infest our children with things that are so detrimental, that can affect and infect them, and then infect others.
Right, I agree with that. So the question really comes down to, what are you teaching?
What are you teaching? Right.
What are you teaching? And what are the people around you catching?
Right. And then another thing that we've talked about that I think a lot of people don't recognize, and then the word is in another quote, unhealed pain doesn't disappear. It shows up in new relationships asking for recognition.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. It's going to show up again.
It's going to show up again.
Absolutely. It's going to show up again. Because you
and
didn't
the thing
fix
is,
me.
you didn't fix me.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing
You
is, the
didn't
next,
face
right, and the next time it show up, it's going to show up bigger.
Yeah.
Than it did before, because all it does, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger because the situations change,
Right.
Which brings on a festering of what you've experienced. So every person gets a deeper,
Yeah.
Reaction to what you have not healed. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
It's almost mind-boggling when you think about it. Like, wow, we got to heal ourselves. We got to get to a place of recognition of where we are. Or who we are.
Yeah, I agree. It's very important that we do the work.
Yes.
We've talked about that
Before.
Doing the work, doing the necessary work to ensure that if I am the teacher, if I am the one that is going through the divorce or the remarriage or the blending process, and I have people who are innocent bystanders or somehow or another directly impacted by my decision making, then I have a responsibility. I have an obligation to myself and to those around me to do the work.
So with that being said, because we're going to come back, because I think we're really talking about it more, I think it's important to kind of take a pause on this, that avoiding the work does not protect you, it repeats you. And really think about that. Avoiding the work does not protect you, it repeats you. And we don't want to become repetitive. So with that,
Yeah, you're right. And that is why community is important.
Yep.
Because the truth of the matter is, there are teachers and there are catchers, right? So the question is, are you the bad apple, or are you amongst a bad apple that can destroy the bunch, right?
Yeah.
And so that is why it's important too that we always stress being a part of the Bonus Club. Because it is a community that allows you to be amongst others. Oh my goodness. To be amongst others that are experiencing the same thing or have experienced it, or maybe, on the verge of experiencing it.
Right.
Maybe
right.
I remember when I told my sister was probably the first person that I told that I was considering divorce.
Really?
My sister was probably the first person I told that I was considering divorce. And because my sister is somebody who I confide in, and that's my BFF, and I trust her. BFF. And so, she was the first person I reached out to. And she gave me some very, very helpful things to consider. Because at that time, I said all that to say that it's because at that time I hadn't made the decision to divorce. I hadn't, but I was thinking about it. Sometimes people are in a situation where they're thinking about what's next. They haven't made the decision. They're living. They're dealing with it internally. They know what they're feeling. They know what they're thinking. They know what they're facing, but out of fear, but out of insecurity, maybe out of your concern about resources. Whatever, sometimes you can be in that place of feeling like, I want to do this. I'm thinking that this is the best situation for me in my life, maybe even for me and my children in this situation, but I don't necessarily know how. So, community.
And the thing about community, you are with people that will allow no judgment, because you all are dealing with the same things that you may feel like this is not normal, and you like, girl, boy, yes it is. Yeah. This is normal. I just experienced the same thing you experiencing right now. healing or having a community normally doesn't always involve your family.
Right,
It's
sure.
just meeting people
Who might be dealing with the same thing.
be dealing
facing
with the same thing, or people who have different perspectives on things, and what you may feel is one thing could be another thing to them. We are all here to help each other, and I think that's so important for bonus moms, bonus dads, our children, the children that are blending, the families, the marriages, be it that you guys are engaged or just got married. I think it's a community of all of that, to just help people, because when you don't have that, just to say, I'm going through this, not for someone that I need your advice. I just need to know that you understand. Sometimes that's all you need is just, they're not just saying they understand, they understand me.
Yeah.
They feel me for real. And I think, and that's what we're here for. That's why we're doing this, because one, we want you all to heal. That is in heal. And I'm sorry I'm focusing so hard on that, because it's important. You can't be what God intended for you to be, and you can't build a better foundation for who you desire to be if you're not healed.
And whole.
And it takes two whole people to come together. He can't make me whole, and I cannot make him whole. That can't happen. We have to come in this together, and we have to build each other up as we are continuing to do. And our foundation is set, but now we're building that house, that peace, that home, and making it what we want it to be, while still individually healing and growing from things that sometimes really doesn't come up until certain things appear in your marriage.
Yeah.
And you think you've healed from it, but they're called triggers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, children experience triggers. What may have seemed like, okay, it looks the same, it almost feels the same. The situation, I remember it being the same, but then knowing the reality of it's not the same.
And I think that's why when we talk about what are we teaching?
What are we teaching?
I come back now to double back to what I was saying earlier too, about sometimes you have to teach yourself.
Yeah.
See, teaching is not always external, right? It's not always the children. Those are the people that are catching.
Those are the people that are catching.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, but if I'm the one that's teaching, right?
Yeah.
I have to first start by being honest. Second, by healing. Who do I need to be honest with first? Me.
You have to be the student first.
I got to teach me. I got to internalize. I got to think. I got to do self-examination. I got to say, okay.
Oh, I'm about to get teary-eyed. Why do every episode I get teary-eyed?
What you crying for?
No, because because I realize in what you're saying in teaching, you have to be the student first. And in looking at all four of our kids, I've learned, and I feel like I've literally had to teach myself things through each child. And I'm still learning even more now that the girls are adults and the boys are growing, and it is different. It's different from girls to boys, and teaching them certain things. But at the same time, I'm teaching myself, and they're teaching me. And I notice things that I wish, or I see myself in them in certain situations, and I'm like, I don't want that for them. I don't want them to be this way. And it's almost like, wow, is this me? Is this how I am? Is this how I was? Have I worked on that? And that's why I'm getting teary-eyed, because we look at our kids sometimes and people always say, "Ooh, that's you." But that is you.
Yeah, you 2.0. You reinvent. Why are you looking at
And
me like that?
he's saying that
I
because
was not
of
even saying that.
Yes, he is. He's
No,
saying
I
that
was
because
not.
of our baby boy.
No, I was not.
Yes, he is.
I was reiterating what you're saying.
But no, you know, fears, all of those things, like, oh, man, I look at my oldest son, which is our middle child of the four, and he has a lot of my worry and my fear in things. And that's like, and when I see him have that and that anxiety and what I had to go through to get to a place of one, acknowledging that I had that, and then doing the necessary work to heal myself, which that is still, as you stated earlier, a journey for me, because now I can recognize it and not be ashamed of recognizing it. How do I fix that for my kid? What tools do I give him so he doesn't have to face that when he's an adult? He can get past it now. I don't want him to do that. I don't want him to be that way. And he loves his mom, but that's a part of me that I don't want him to have. Mm-hmm. And he has to heal, but his healing comes from me teaching.
Right.
But he has to catch it.
Because he caught the anxiety.
He caught it.
Okay, but it's going to be important that you teach him how to breathe through it.
Yeah.
And weather through it and be okay through it. See, because if he sees mom be spasmatic or spastic or whatever the words are, he sees mom spazzing out, he's going to catch that.
Yeah.
You understand
And
what
my
I'm
other
saying?
child he is a hypochondriac. Everything hurts him. Everything, and oh Lord, I am that too. I am that too, and I'm laughing and I'm crying all at the same time because it's true. That's why I love this. I love this for us in helping other people, because in turn it helps us. Because that was a revelation for me. That really was a revelation for me, and for. I'm gonna cry again. I'm gonna hold back the tears.
You got tissues in there.
I know, but for my girls, I don't want the pain that their mom experienced to be their identity of how to handle relationships when it doesn't go right. I don't want them to identify that as that's how they should be, or that's how they should carry, or that's how they should hold on to it instead of heal. I don't want that for them. And they talk to me about relationships, and I'm so grateful for that. And I always try to say, okay, it didn't go as planned. Let's move on. In this situation, move on to the next, because they're young. Truthfully, because they're young. Because everything to me is a stepping stone to your destination, even in love. What did you learn from that? Yeah. What did you learn from that relationship? And my bonus child, my youngest daughter, just revealed something to me from a relationship, and she told me right in the kitchen what she learned from it.
That's good.
And it's like.
So you said what she learned. That's the thing. It's like there's a negative and there's a positive. Mm-hmm. I can appreciate you are not wanting them to catch the response that their mom had as a result of our divorce. Their mom had never been divorced before, Yeah. And so there was a journey for her that she had to go through. Yep. They also saw their mom find love again, and they saw their mom remarry again.
Yep.
You see?
Absolutely.
So it's, what do we teach in divorce, blending, and remarrying?
Yeah.
It's the flip side of that is, what am I teaching?
What am I teaching?
What process have I gone through personally, internally, to heal,
Yeah.
to be honest, to heal, to make sure that I'm teaching, and to make sure that what those that are directly connected are catching. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? And so those are the things that we have to
That
make
was our
sure.
background noise.
That was, I made a good point right there. That was applause. But because I mean, everybody's on a journey,
Yeah.
right? Everybody's on a journey. And most people who have experienced divorce, especially the first one for the first time, you got people who have experienced multiple divorces. They've been married and divorced and married and divorced and married and divorced. You got some people where that's just, marriage for them is just another thing to do. You got some people that are like that. And that's more than likely caught from somebody, from something or somebody else in the past, right? But in most cases, that first divorce, or people who have gone through a divorce, because they've only gone through one, there's no manual.
Oh, I'm sure.
There's no handbook. And when there was genuine love, that is a death. You mourn that.
Absolutely.
You go through grief. There's a grieving period. I went through it. I've shared that. Y'all have heard that within our journey. That I've gone through the divorce process, right? So what do I teach others now? I teach others that do all you can. Let divorce be the last option. Is divorce a reality for some people? Yeah. Some people need to get a divorce. Listen.
Oh, Jesus.
Some people ain't had no business getting
Get
married in the
married.
first place.
That's the truth.
So,
no. Come on.
Some people need to get a divorce.
That's
You should get one, right? But that's a last resort. What do I teach? This is great. What do I teach? I teach marriage is beautiful.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm going to go in this direction really quick. So you know how when you are engaged to be married, you go to premarital counseling, right? And that is drilled in us, especially in the church. Premarital counseling, I'm not marrying you if you don't go. Okay. But I really think sometimes premarital only touches the surface. It's just so surface level of the things that you really need to dig deep into to find out, one, if this couple should or should not get married, which we experienced in our premarital class with our classmates. But what happens when the marriage is in turmoil and divorce? Should the church also hold classes or counseling internal like they did for premarital when things are in those? Because I believe it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I believe the church stops at premarital and that's it. Yeah, we have little conferences and all of that stuff, but people need ongoing. Yeah. And when they're in the thick of it, where are you? Where are you to help me with those tools that I didn't get prior to? Well, I'm asking. I'm really not attacking that. I'm asking that.
I think in many cases it is there. I think that it doesn't get into the weeds a lot of times. It doesn't go in depth, which is what some couples need. A lot of couples need that. They need somebody to get into the weeds with them. But I think that as far as a regular, ongoing something, the only thing I would say is that in many cases, in many churches, and this is the preacher in me having to advocate for the church, you got many churches that have marriage small groups, marriage Sunday schools, classes, married, you know what I'm saying? Small, so it's there. And even not to shun the marriage conferences. Like you said, I know you have your little marriage conference.
No, I don't mean it like
but,
that.
But that's how you said it, though.
Oh my
So what
God.
I'm saying is, no.
You know I didn't mean it like that.
I'm not saying that, though, to jump on you. But what I am saying is that so those tools are there. They just a lot of times don't get into the weeds.
Yeah.
They don't. Because in most cases, the weeds of marriage are sex, money, communication.
The reason I said, marriage, because I remember a lot of it was focused more so on the singles conferences than the marriage conferences. I saw marriage ministries, but I didn't see conferences. I saw more of single conferences because I attended plenty of those.
But
I'm just
I don't
saying,
disagree, but that just may have been in your context.
Yeah.
In your, you know what I'm saying? But in most cases, most cases, there are tools for marriages in your local community, in your local church community, in most cases. But I will say, I agree with you, they don't get into the weeds. They don't deal with the real. And I feel like that, so that's why you need community.
That's why you need community.
A real community.
A real community
that
that
gets
can
into the real.
Of the thick of it.
Because the reality of it is that, there are things that could be addressed that could help to avoid some divorces. And that's what I mean by what are you teaching? So not teaching that marriage is just something that you can do, especially in 2026. The first thing people say is, if it don't work out, I'll just get a divorce and move on.
It's so easy.
Back in the day, grandma and grandpa, they didn't have that. Now, don't get me wrong now. Grandma and grandpa, they was tipping and sleeping in separate bedrooms and all that kind of stuff. That's a story for a different day. That's just me. But they still had a mentality of, this is it.
Yeah.
We married. What happens here stays here. And we're going to deal with it. And we're going to, whatever it is, we're going to go through it. So there's the marriage side. The divorce side, I'm sorry. Then there's the blending side. Blending can be beautiful.
Absolutely.
Blending can be dope.
Like me.
Why can't it be like you and not like us and like my dope blend?
Yeah, because I'm the host. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm just kidding. But no, on that note, you made a great point. My quote that I have created on my own, I just can't always remember the whole thing. That's why I had this. But divorce taught me what I tolerated. Blending taught me what I carried. Remarriage is teaching me what I finally healed and what I refuse to repeat.
That's good. That's good.
And that's going to be the quote.
Should.
Right. And that's going to be the quote of the day. And hopefully we may be able to put that on the screen, but I want to say it again just so you guys can hear it clearly. Divorce taught me what I tolerated. Blending taught me what I carried. Remarriage is teaching me what I finally healed and what I refused to repeat.
That's good.
That's good.
That's good. Because I would say that's true.
Yes. So take that, you guys, to our listeners, to our viewers. And really, I hope this episode was one that can allow you to understand that peeling back the layers can go so deep, but they can go in so many different areas. It's almost like gardening. You can take something and put it right back in the soil and the seed, and it grows this, it'll grow the same fruit, nothing.
Yeah, sure.
So there has to be change, but the change has to start with you. You have to, acknowledge it and be honest with yourself. And then that's when the true healing starts. The hardest part is when you ask God to reveal you to you.
Yes.
Be prepared for what comes with that.
He will. Listen.
Be prepared for what comes. And in that, though, comes liberty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In that because it's like you're peeling, you're shedding all of that.
Because you've been wearing phoniness, though. You've been wearing fake.
Yes.
You've been wearing the fugazi.
You've been
wearing Gucci, you've been wearing Gucci.
And that's for any and everybody that's healing. This is not about woman. This is not about man. This is not just about child. This is for all of us. Every every field, every nationality. We all got to heal in order to be better. Yeah. And it can affect us in so many ways, but it starts at the root. It starts in the home. So make note of that. Yes. What I do, how I act, what I say is being seen, and it could be caught.
Mm-hmm. It's more than likely being caught.
So stop it.
Be careful what you teach.
Stop throwing it.
Whatever you teach.
And if you're going to throw something
Sometimes
for it to be
not what's
caught.
Taught, it's what's caught.
That's right. That's right. I like that. So last but not least, taste of the rainbow. I'm not going to pick a color. And let me tell you why. Because I believe this topic goes for every color in here. Mm-hmm. I honestly think that, when you're talking about, what are we teaching or what have we taught and what is caught, you have to look at all of the colors because they're all coming together. Mm-hmm. Now it's Taste of the Rainbow in this specifically because every part has its place. Every color has its place, rather. Yeah. So I'm not going to pick a color. I'm just going to pick a color, the flavor that I like.
Which?
I'm picking the green, which is happy because that green is good. That's good.
You going to slide the Skittles all the way down here?
Is that crazy?
You eat the Skittles for both of us today.
What color do you want?
Green. Eat a green one for me.
I make him happy, y'all.
And with that being said,
guys, thank you so much.
We want these social medias to make you happy as well. So we need y'all following. We need y'all liking. We need you subscribing. We need you commenting. We want you sharing, because Barney says sharing means caring. So all I'm trying to tell y'all is that we got some great things that are coming up, not just the podcast, but we got some things that are happening in person that you will only find out about if you are part of the community, if you are following us on social media, if you are catching us on YouTube. Make sure that when this episode comes on each week, when these episodes come on, that you like them, that you share them, and that you comment. We want you to make sure that you subscribe to My Dope Blend Podcast and turn the notifications on so you always know when we go live. But all these things you can find on our social. What's coming up? My book. I feel like Hocus Pocus. Boo! It was Bette Midler. Did you see Hocus Pocus?
I did see Hocus Pocus. You just had to do that, huh? My book, please. Bridging Hearts, please guys, for those who have not, please get on the list to get your book, please. I am so excited about it, guys. I can't believe there is a book, but all the things that we're talking about is there. And I think it'll be something that you all can relate to. It's not just something that should just give you advice, but also to pull you in, to let you feel and experience the things that I've experienced along with things that others have experienced. It's literally pulling you into the community as we're all bridging our hearts together. So
with that being said, y'all keep blending.
We love y'all. Keep blending.
I don't blend. See you next week.